So, hello everyone. This is our second lecture, and today I'm going to tell you that what is foreign aid. So, basically, foreign aid or foreign assistance is defined as the international transfer of goods, services, or capital from a country or an international aid agency to a recipient country or its population. It consists of all resources transferred by donor to the recipient. There are several types of aids, including humanitarian and disaster reliefs, such as in the case of tsunami and earthquake or a conflict causing the, the displacement and suffering of civilians. Economic economic aid to sponsor development or investments in infrastructure. For example, the support which is used to assist a country or its people in its defense effort, and healthcare programs such as those involving family planning, reducing infant mortality, or prevention of particular diseases. We are going to discuss who provides foreign aid. Foreign aid is public. This is also known as Official Development Assistance or ODA. Public aid can be given by the government of one country to another, such as USAID or the Spanish Agency for International Development Corporation AECIT. Public aid can also be used multi multilateral, which is aid provided by one or multiple countries to or through a multilateral agency such as UN, the World Bank, or the IMF. Alternatively, foreign aid can be private. Private development assistance is generally provided by the NGOs or charity-based organizations such as Red Cross or Oxfam. Now in this slide, we are going to discuss why do countries give foreign aid. There are multiple answers to the question, ranging from the most idealistic and motivation to the cynical, cynical and strategical. But in a nutshell, countries give foreign assistance for three main reasons. One, moral or ethical reason. The number one is moral or ethical reason. The aid could be given in compensation for the past wrongs and past explo- exploitations or consequences of colonialism. It could be given to counter the uneven distribution of global natural resources and global wealth, and to promote and shared prosperity, or it could be that certain countries feel a moral obligation to help those who are less fortunate and wish to help them to improve their standards of living. Two, the number two is economic self-interest aid could be given to develop or expand the given market for a donor country's good. A good example of this is Tide Aid. Tied aid is a foreign aid that must be spent on goods or services produced in country providing the aid. The donor country or aid can be used to dispose of surpluses. If a donor country wants to get rid of surpluses in either good or goods or commodities. 3. The political reason or reason of strategic self-interest. A country provides foreign aid in order to buy friends and influence mainly for security reasons. For example, during the Cold War, the US used aid as a way to incentivize the countries to side with them instead of Soviet bloc. Now we're going to discuss, does aid works? Well, it depends on who you ask. There is currently a raging debate around the impact of the aid. I would argue that there are two, two camps in this debate. The first camp consists of proponents of foreign aid, which includes the economist Jerry Paul Collier and the entrepreneur Bill Gates. Now, according to Jerry, foreign aid can solve the poverty traps. Extremely poor people are stuck in a vis- viscous are stuck in a vicious cycle of poverty. Low per capita income leads to lower saving, which turns lead to lower investment and poverty. According to him, foreign aid can break this cycle by filling the savings gap. In the same camp, Bill Gates argues that foreign aid has been instrumental in smallpox and providing treatments for HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. The second camp consists of critics of foreign aid, which includes the economist William Easterly and Dambisa Moyo. They argue that foreign aid only, only serve to prop up the corrupt government in poor countries who steal the aid and do not use it to provide public goods. Dambiso Mayo further sorry. So now we are going to discuss about Dembiso Mayo, that what actually Dembiso Mayo thinks. Dembiso Mayo further arrests that providing aid for young girls' education in a poor country, although a worthy cause, does not provide her with a job once she graduates from a high school. So what So what a good so what good is an education if there is no employment opportunity afterwards? According according to Moyo, what is more effective than aid? There are investments and job creations. Other critics like Williams believes that the main problem with the aid is the principal agent problem. For instance, have you ever bought a gift for an unknown person? क्या आपने कभी किसी एक अननोन पर्सन के लिए कोई गिफ्ट खरीदा है? नहीं ना, you have never bought a gift for an unknown person. So foreign aid भी ऐसी ही होती है. Foreign aid is buying a present for someone to whom you have never met or to whom you have never seen in your life. Someone who will never give you the feedback on whether they like it or they do not like it. So it is also known as the knowledge problem. Missing feedbacks also creates weak incentives for giving recipients that they really want this this is the incentive problem. Plus, you must convince someone to finance the present, giving the program's taxpayers who may be aware of the knowledge and incentive problems. This leads to more incentive problems. So, to summarize, a key issue facing aid agency the is the indirect and distinct relationship between taxpayer and beneficiaries and the intermediaries or aid agencies between them. The objectives, incentives, and informations available to these agents are not always well aligned with the objectives of either the taxpayers or the beneficiaries. Last, last but not the least, very little follow up is done. Once the aid is given to measure whether or not assistance had a positive impact, most aid agencies provide aid and they forget about it. This is my view. This is my view. Perhaps I have greatest problem in the aid sector, lack of the follow-up. If aid agency dedicate a portion of their resources to impact measurement, foreign aid would most likely be beneficial. So now here we concluded foreign aid is here to stay. It is now up to donor countries and aid agencies to include recipients when negotiating grants, projects, and policies, and thus maximize the likelihood of their success. Now, here comes the problem with foreign aid. Every second of every day, countries continuously compete with each other. A tiny economist fluctuation and is single word of regulation is enough to determine that who does business and where and ultimately the power of nation. But why all of this is happening in countries turn around to giving away billions of dollars in the form of money. The money could have grown its economy or strengthened its military. So why do countries give aid and how can we make sense of who gives money to whom? Your country has no moment of guilty to sending repar- reparation their mistake before they're quickly returning to cut through competition. Of course not. Like everything protocols, the assumed explanation be kindness, or carelessness, but rational and selfish selfish calculation. The reason aid exists explains why it is so ineffective, even the largest amount and in the best intention. Let's talk about how does foreign aid works. The first thing to understand is that foreign aid is really a trade for policy with a benefit of purring charity. Signing any treaty or support this war. Your money will keep on coming, of course. Trade is not a bad thing. If one country wants something from another country and they agree on a fair price, then who cares that it is distinguished as foreign aid? Everyone is better off. But this kind of trade is different because it isn't country to country, but leader to leader. This is mistake that so many of us make. If you think about politics only in the term of country, then you missed the forest of the trees. Politician makes deals, not citizens. You should keep in mind that politicians always make deals. Fine, they do not make citizens. And their interest is first and foremost staying in power. जो politicians का interest होता है वो सबसे पहला उनका interest यही होता है that they want to stay in the power. Foreign aids are made when one leader wants another leader to do something unpopular in the second leader's country. A leader wants to please its population, like gaining votes, or more likely, or avoiding reduction. So, if the policy were popular, he would not need convincing, he would just and acted. A good deal is one, one up makes lose, or public anger created by the change in policy. Your entire population may oppose going to war, but in but in offer but if the offer is sweet enough, you will go and get it. This is why the aid tends to democracy or dictatorship and not the other way around. The democratic politician depends on public opinion, real actions. So he needs a lot of money to overcome any damage. The more money, the most damage to pay. But he does want he does want to buy the policies to help them real acted because public opinion is mostly irrelevant to dictators. It can be easily outweighed with money. So dictators make deal right or left, while democratic politicians want to buy policies is that they want to buy policies because they want to please people, and dictators sell the policies because they have nothing to do with the people. Most people think government gives too much of aid, but it is but it does not matter because they vote for the policies it can buy.